That's what I think, but I could be wrong, so. Okay, we will.
So, do we want to talk to each other and talk to the
I think
people?
so. Yeah.
Okay,
I think we
great.
should talk to each other and talk to the people.
Okay, so is it on?
Yep.
Okay, great. We're going to talk to each other and we're going to talk to the people.
Let me make sure.
Bring it in a little bit further, okay? I know that tune's here, but we'll have a little more close view. That looks very nice.
Better?
Uh-huh.
All right. Tuni.
So what do you want to talk about, Marissa? So you got an intro. Somehow you're the intro
Okay.
girl.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Marissa Myers here, and we are coming together today to interview someone who I've worked with as a conscious healer, Julia George. And we're going to share a little bit about the work that she does, which is called shadow work. And it's basically working on your subconscious and working on healing that part of yourself in order to live a more healthy and happy life.
Yes, that would be ideal. What is the subconscious, Marissa?
Subconscious is...
How do you know? How can you heal something that you don't see, Marissa?
Well, that's where the work with you comes in.
Exactly.
Because you might not see it. Well, personally, me, I might have something come up for me and I don't know that it's from my subconscious. But then when I start to have a conversation with you, then you can listen for signs and see my body language and how my tone of my voice changes, and then you'll be able to tell really what I'm feeling about it, even if I don't know what I'm feeling about it.
Very true. You are an energy system, as we all are, and our energy system is operating from all of the experiences that we have ever had since the beginning of this incarnation. We're not pushing belief systems, but this does give warrant to the fact that we are souls on a journey, and we do come into different bodies in different times, and then we get to learn lessons in each time and hopefully evolve as a human being and eventually as a human race. So the shadow work, which is the subconscious, unconscious work, would be the work that comes from the way you feel and the way you react to experiences that you actually create from your own energy system unknowingly. Can you explain that any better, Marissa?
I think what I'm understanding you said, and it's safe to say, is that you asked the question, how do you know it's coming from your subconscious? And it relates to that because you will act in a certain way and you might not necessarily know that it's coming from the subconscious, but then what you create because of the decision that you made, that's going to show you where you made the decision from.
Correct.
Whether it's negative or positive.
Correct. And we do seemingly make positive decisions every once in a while in our lives naturally, because we have also positive energy and positive stories from our past. But the unfortunate part about that is that with all the positivity that we actually have, it's tainted with our negativity because we're not knowing that our negativity is operating. So anything positive that we do has a taint of negativity until we are able to really see our negativity on a day-to-day basis and stop it from altering our course. Basically, we're stopping it from going further. We're not killing it because we can never kill it. It's a part of us. But we are not getting that little, those cobwebs involved in what we're trying to create, which what we're trying to create has to be good for us and good for everything. So it's not only about getting your needs met anymore, because when you become an energy system that is self-aware, you become aware of how everybody feels the same pain and the same joy, and you are not looking to make life for anybody any harder, knowing how hard it has been for you to change the way you think and feel. So it becomes a bigger picture as well, because we're energy and we're looking to make our energy part of a bigger picture, which is
Right.
always going to give us the best outcome. So if we're looking to get our needs met, it's never going to give you the best outcome, guaranteed. It may last a long time, seemingly good, but the ending of something usually tells how the beginning started. So it's not really important, as important on how it begins as much as how it ends, because you have the chance to grow and evolve in the middle and have a good ending. And that means a good ending even at the end of living in your body, which is, not anything people want to think about either. But if you want to not think about that your body's going to end, then you're not going to care as much about if your life ended right now. Would that be the way you wanted your life to end? Okay.
So maybe for someone that doesn't get it that deeply, we could break it down and say that when you are operating from a place of not feeling good about yourself, not feeling good enough, which most of the population is, and we don't realize that we're operating from that place, that we have low self-esteem, and when you're operating from that place, then you're actually showing up for people because you're using them to make you feel better about yourself.
Yes, but we are using each other. It's not just a one-way street. Someone who had a consciousness that was able to go to a higher level, we see more because we want to see more. So basically, if we see people wanting to get their needs met through us, the buck basically stops there, because that can't happen. A person that is looking to gratify their ego or their needs, or collect possessions, or use people for their own personal gain, they will not create positive, lasting relationships that will support that system. You will create using somebody and they will use you, and basically it becomes an empty well where two skeletons are having a relationship, and it ain't pretty. And people do stay in those relationships, and by relationships I mean it can be work relationships or intimates, or even people with their pets, the way you discipline your children or you don't, all of the relationships, the way your relationship is with the earth, the food you eat, your relationship with your body. Relationship is everything. So you always hit the wall if you're looking to satisfy, because satisfaction is not guaranteed in the long run for any period of time, knowing the nature of life. So what we who want to see more and experience life in its best form, we are looking to be comfortable in our own bodies most of the time, in a peaceful state, in a state of hearing and listening and not speaking as much, in a state of being positive energy that is at peace with itself in the world. And it doesn't have to happen 100% all the time, but it does show up most of the time for us who are actually doing the work, waking up and having another day to become better at being a human being.
So what you said about people using each other and then having a negative ending, because in reality they really weren't a positive energy system. They were, using each other to feel good about themselves until the point where maybe neither one of them had anything left to be used for, so the relationship ended on a negative way. Or maybe you just weren't happy with the relationship the entire time, but you didn't even know it, or it dragged you down. Well, and the opposite, what would you experience if you were a positive energy system and you were taking care of yourself? Like, how would that be different?
Are you talking about
Relationships, still.
relationships with people that you attract
Yes.
and that you connect with?
Mhm.
Or for what level are you talking about? Out on the streets with the world, which is quick and, you know, pretty painless when you're a positive working energy system, or a day-to-day relationship, friendships, work relationships?
Close relationships.
What are
with
you
friends.
asking me?
Yeah.
What are you
Closer
asking me?
relationships, work, friends, family, partners.
What's your
Not
question?
just, okay, so we talked about it being a negative energy system and what you're going to create and how it ends up being a negative ending. But if you were a positive energy system and you did love yourself and you did feel good about yourself, how would those relationships be different?
Well, you could have relationships two ways, where one supports the other in their growth, and then the other person or participant in the relationship would really have to show a lot of initiative and constant level of growth and change, where that would support the energy system that was in a stronger position. Okay? Do you understand that? Okay, great. Or let's see, that was one way to have that relationship. Or you start a relationship that is in that position, but the other energy system is quite highly evolved. That means a possible old soul, and it starts catching on very quickly, and then that supports the other energy system, and then that becomes a highly functioning, very positive, productive combination. And nobody really needs anything from the other, but just enjoys the experience of the other person. Or it has a lifespan that goes as far as it needs to go, and then you don't have to be together anymore, and everybody knows it, and you can't make it go any further. And that's where we just keep going, and we keep releasing relationships and attracting new ones, and keep growing all the time, if that's what you want. Because a lot of people are not having relationships to grow like I am, because that's all I want out of my relationships, is to grow. I don't need anybody to be anything for me except to want to grow so that I can experience another human being's growth, and it's not my own experience. It's another experience, which is very exciting and interesting to have around. It's progressive. But if you want to stop at a certain place, which most people like to do, you can enjoy that place, but there will be walls and obstacles that will not be able to be overcome unless one of the partners in the relationship wants to grow further. And then once one participant wants to grow further, that relationship is going to be put to the test of, was this for growth in the end, or was this to be stuck in the end, and was this ever meant to go further? That would be a decision that would be made once one partner wants to grow, because basically a relationship will have to grow or go in order for two people to participate in it and be satisfied with it. So
Maybe some people think that they're in a relationship that's growing, and I mean consciously, but they don't
Sure.
realize that their subconscious is actually keeping them stuck, and it's not growing and it's not progressive. So what would be some indications that the relationship really wasn't a growth-oriented relationship?
well, one of the things that comes to my mind first is the ability to communicate your truth coming from self-love and acceptance. Most people co-sign each other's bullshit stories, which is a term, sentence used when you need somebody to be who they are so that you could be who you are, and that is stuck. Okay, does this make sense to you what I'm saying?
Makes sense to me. Yes.
Okay, great. So how do you know if it's growth oriented? Communication is the first thing that comes to my mind, and I am positive 100% that that information is correct. That you are able to totally speak your truth without fear, coming from self-love and acceptance, and the relationship will grow or go right from that place, because you are not settling for lies or hiding or shoving shit under the rug. You are willing to put yourself on the line to see what the truth is, and you're not afraid of ever losing anything. So that's a big that's the only one I could come up with right now, but you know, I'm sure there might be other ones. You may be able to ask me some more questions, or I could come up with some more answers. What do you think about that?
Well, I think what you're kind of
Sorry.
saying is, if you were in a position to, you had something come up in your relationship that you processed and you saw that it might be negative, it would be progressive, would be that you could communicate that to the person, and then you wouldn't be worried about whether they got upset by what you said, because you
Correct.
were doing it in a place where you knew that you were coming from the right place, and you knew that you have love for yourself and for the other person.
Okay, let's just say we're not going to tell Daddy this because Daddy's going to freak out. I'm not going to tell my girlfriend this because it's not going to make her happy and it could ruin our relationship. Well, all things were going wrong for quite a long time before you got to this level of hiding and being another person that you're really, and not being honest. So basically you set up relationships to have lies in them so that you can act the same way and get your needs met, even though getting your needs met is actually getting your bullshit story co-signed, and then you're not growing. So yes, we don't want to take people to a place where they don't want to go. We could take them to, it's like taking the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I'm not interested in being with anybody who doesn't want to know more. But there's plenty of other people that they could be with in the world, and so that's okay. It's just the evolution of us as human beings is going to change the world, and it needs to be healed. So if we take ourselves as the first issue and not every other thing, you can guarantee that you are doing your part. And you can't do that for anyone. You can only do that for yourself. And everybody else has to do it themselves. But I know how to do that. And so that's a good thing. So I can teach people how to do that. And then we can all be doing it and everything's going to get better. Yes, I do believe that.
So what kind of things would you be teaching someone when they're working with you so that they can be that change in themselves and show up differently as a positive energy system?
Well, we do have a very deep, long 6 weeks together. It's not a superficial relationship, so people would be having the most real relationship with me, a stranger, but not really a stranger, because I'm aware of the way your energy system operates and you're comfortable with me after a little while.
Maybe.
Exactly. Pretty much so. But it doesn't matter, because when things change for the better, you don't have to be comfortable with me, because
Exactly.
I just want you to be comfortable with yourself, because you don't have to be with me for the rest of your life. All you have to be with me is for 6 weeks. You got to be with your shit for the rest of your life, so you might as well learn how the fuck to operate it, okay? Because I can't give you that experience. You can only give it to yourself again. So yeah, we're going through a new way to look at life, a pretty much a process that works, It's methodical, it's focused. We are talking about everything that you experience and your perceptions about your life from the beginning, from when your first experience of seeing and thinking and feeling your parents, to your siblings, to all of your traumas, and everything is showing me where they begin, all your issues begin, and where you start to get stuck, and then where you can keep living your life stuck, and then where you keep meeting and creating everything to reinforce being stuck. Stuck as fuck, we call it. Excuse my language. I curse a lot, but it's okay. And then eventually we release the story together and give you tools to use. And I put bright lights on your shit so that you actually learn to see it on your own, because all it really takes is somebody to show it to you once. And I did have a mother that was very good at it, so I became very good at it as well. And as long as you see it once, you're going to see it countless times until you take care of it. It's going to get really boring if you don't take care of it. So, and by the end, you've got to, it's just the beginning. When we're done, it is really the beginning of you experiencing yourself the way you truly can be, which is untainted with shit, aware of everything you feel and the way you operate all the time, attracting from the right place because you're aware of how you feel, and you know that if you're in this state of mind and feeling that you're not going to make choices about things that really matter, that's not going to create anything that you want. So you see how you operate, and you get yourself operating in the best place in order to see the truth and make choices according to what is real instead of what your story has created for you to perceive. Make sense? Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. You know, you can, hopefully you guys will have this video and you can listen to it 100 times, because I can't help the information that comes out of me, because it does come in through me, and it's a lot, even for me to remember. I sit with my students and they ask me to repeat something, and thank God I can't repeat it. It's like, let's just keep going. Because if I have to remember all the shit that I say and everything that comes through me, you might as well kill me now. There would be a lot of responsibility to carry around. So, how are we doing?
Good. So, after someone's worked with you for the 6 weeks and you've given them these tools to, you know, change their situation and create something differently, what would be the kind of results that they would see in their life? How would their life be changed from doing
results? This work? I love results, okay? Results show work. So if you work on your body and you shrink it down in a couple of sizes and get real fit, you see results, okay? But after this work, the results are very subtle, but they are long-lasting. You start to see your connection to the universe as an energy system that is supported, because when you are making choices, everything is turning out perfectly, not exactly or definitely the way you thought it would, but when you know that you're operating from the right place, you're attracting everything you need to progress, and you lovingly and surrenderingly are going with the flow of life that is much better. Definitely. So is that what you're talking about? Results?
Yeah.
Some results. Synchronicity and the feeling of well-being and peace and security. The big deal is that you're never affected by other people's shit. It's awesome. Everybody's got their own shit, and you have had yours, and you still have yours. But we learn when we're the samurai warrior of the emotions and thoughts that don't serve us, that are destructive, we learn that we don't speak, act, or make choices under the influence of negativity. Therefore, when we are seeing external negativity, if we are affected negatively, it is actually our negativity that is being brought up. And when we reach the point of self-love and acceptance, which accepts everyone and all of life as it is, we feel compassion within us, and that energy emits off of us without even saying a word, and we can take the blast out of the bomb most of the time. That's pretty good. So you see suffering, you see people suffering, you see them projecting their shit on you, blaming you for their issues, blaming you for what you said to them that made them feel bad. And basically we know from doing the work that we didn't do anything to anybody that wasn't already done to them. We just reminded them what was done to them, and they haven't healed it yet, so it's still happening in their lives. We don't have that happen in our lives. We are self-loving. We don't need to fix. We just need to take care of ourselves and emit that energy that shows other people what the hell that even looks like. So that's some more awesome stuff that goes on.
And then you might even be able to help that person shift their energy in that moment because you
Totally
changed
can,
the
but
dynamic.
I'm not guaranteeing anything on your money back. It's totally true. You can change energy everywhere you go if that's what your intention is to be using your love and light instead of your self-serving, sucking, ego, never gratified self. Because we all know when we reach goals, we're always setting goals. Let's keep setting goals. Oh, we reached that goal. Time for another goal. Okay, well, if I don't reach another goal, then what do I have to show me that I'm still good? Well, in this world that is at the level that it is, I understand that most people need goals to feel that they are making progress. But if you wake up, you made progress. If you're able to eat, you've made progress. If you can move your body, you're making progress. Everything small matters more, and the big things just happen. You barely need to try hard to live. Life is happening. How are you showing up as an energy system? Are you showing up as a positive energy system, or is life happening negatively because you're showing up as a negative energy system? It's a question.
Well, I think that's probably good for today. That's a lot of information.
Totally. I feel the same way as you. Holy shit. I need to go to the beach.
So, thanks for joining us today. We'll be back again next week, and we appreciate you being here with us, and we hope that you learned a lot.
And do
Bye.
share.
Yes. See ya.
Bye-bye.